Welcome to the Art is an Advantage weekly video series. I'm Becky Shulo, and I try to create weekly videos where we talk about art marketing strategies. So this week, we are back into working through my 7 steps to a niche art marketing strategy guide. And if you haven't received this guide yet, you can get the download in the notes, the links in the notes below. And I have to tell you, so we've been in step 2. I thought it was time to move to step 3. And then I realized that I had promised some things that I never got into. And step 2 is research. I had promised to get into more what I like to call research hotspots, or how to really dig in and learn about your audience and find opportunities within that audience or market, niche market specifically. And so I want to apologize because I've been a little off kilter. You might notice that I missed a couple weeks. And if you get my newsletter, you know, I had some personal things going on with a family member and a health issue that took me, and my own health. I was sick for a little bit. So took us a little off track, but we are back. And so we're going to stay in research, and we are ready though to keep moving through this journey. So not finished with research, we're going to get back into that topic now. So this week, what I did was to create actually a worksheet for you. But before we get into the worksheet, you know, I've talked a lot about the why behind research, why I think it's important that you do that, how you can use it to your benefit when not only when finding or determining if you're going to focus on a niche audience, but simply any type of marketing that you want to do, how research can help you. So I've talked a lot about the philosophy or the reasons why. I've talked a lot about the system. I've explained, so you can go back and watch that, how to set up a research system for yourself. And now again, we're going to get into more detail about really how to do some solid research. The worksheet is actually a target audience worksheet for a visual artist. The goal of working through the worksheet is to come up with at least one buyer, or sometimes we refer to them, or you might hear it referred to as a customer persona. And a buyer persona is simply a detailed profile of your ideal customer. So it's going to include all kinds of information about their demographics, their interests, behaviors, things that motivate them. And you actually write a buyer persona up like a fictional person and who that customer might be. And using this persona will be very helpful for you as we move forward in the process. So to help you with this, I've created a worksheet. And this worksheet is going to take you through like a series of questions. And they're really going to be to help you make this persona. Now, you might be thinking, why didn't we already do this with the identify your audience step? And I know we talked a lot around these topics, but now I want you, before we get any further with research, I want you to put down what you have so far, the knowledge that you have so far about this customer or this audience, and put it down on paper. And so this could be articulating what you know about your current customer base for an established artist, or it could be based upon what you learned in that potential audience, what you think you know so far. And so you can use this not only in this research process that we're going through, because it will help you to focus in on things that it will give you focus and help you dive into different areas of research and really kind of guide the research process. But it will also, excuse me, I feel like I just got bit by a bug or something. I wouldn't doubt. It's so hot here where I am right now this summer. But anyway, sorry to digress. So it's going to help you with focused research, and it's going to help you once we get beyond the research, actually with marketing strategy. So that could be everything from how you present your information on your website to social media strategy. Now, the worksheet is fairly simple. It's going to take you through three categories of information. The first is demographic information. So that's going to be characteristics such as age, gender, income, education, location. So you're going to kind of try to come up with um, what you know again about your customer, your ideal customer. Where do they likely fall from a demographic standpoint? The second area of questions will focus on what we call psychographic information. So that will be data about a person's lifestyle, their interests, their values, maybe their personality. And as an example, I talk a lot about my work with Robert Yonkey and marketing to the bluegrass music industry. So for Robert, his customer persona in this niche, we have a lot of psychographic information. We know that that particular customer persona attends music festivals. We know that many of them play musical instruments and are musicians themselves. We know how they like to spend their money, what kind of things they're looking for as it relates to that particular interest or hobby. So, and we've met a lot of them, out and about. So we have this psychographic information. Then the third would be behavioral. So the third category is going to be behavioral information. So this is information such as a person's buying patterns or product usage or decision-making process. So you might know for your customer persona, they like to purchase things around a particular holiday, or they're buying something for their business, or they're purchasing it for a client. Um, there can be all different types of behavioral data. And so, again, these are three categories that are fairly straightforward questions that will really just help you kind of articulate and outline everything you've worked on so far as it relates to your audience. And then as you fill out the worksheet, use what you know already. If you have an established client base, and again, if you don't have that base, do your best to determine based on what you know so far of where you think that ideal customer will fall when it comes to some of the questions. You will find that not all of the questions will even apply. And if they don't apply to what you're doing, just skip them. None of this is set in stone. And as you move through this process, things will change. Things are always changing in any business, but especially I think in art business. So this worksheet is just your starting point. And again, at the end, I just want you to have a picture in mind. Now you can do more than one, but let's start with at least one typical customer. And you'll see in the worksheet, it doesn't have to be very elaborate. I've also given you a couple examples of what that persona, an example of what one would look like. And then, of course, as we move forward, you can fine tune that persona. So let's get started. You're going to download the worksheet from the link in the course or the video description below and start outlining that target audience. And of course, you will always find any resources. I drop any resources that maybe I think I'm going to put a blog post that I wrote in the past about this subject. I'm going to put that in the resources for you as well, but you will always find those in the notes. And please don't forget to subscribe to this channel, because then every time I post these, I was doing them on Thursday. Like I said, my schedule's been a little off kilter. So today's Friday. They might, get posted sooner in the week. That way you'll get them as soon as they drop. And please share this with any artists that you think might find the information helpful. So thanks, and I will see you next week.